بعيدة. بعد نزلها.
ليلة الجمعة تعجيل فرج مولانا صاحب العصر والزمان عجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله. صلى الله عليك يا ابن رسول الله. صلى الله عليك وعلى أهل بيتك المظلومين. يا رحمة الله الواسعة ويا باب نجاة الأمة ويا عبرة كل مؤمن ومؤمنة غريب مظلوم كربلاء. يا ليتنا كنا معكم سادتي فنفوز فوزا عظيما.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
إمام بكته الإنس والجن والسماء ووحش الفلا والطير والبحر والبر. إمام أبوه المرتضى علم الهدى وصي رسول الله والصن والصهر. وفيه رسول الله قال قوله صحيح صريح ليس في ذلكم نكر. له تربة ليلة زيارة الحسين عليه السلام. له تربة فيها الشفاء وقبة يجاب بها الداعي إذا مسه الضر. وذرية منه 9 أئمة حق لا 8 ولا 10 يقتل ظمآنا حسين بكربلاء. وفي كل عضو من أنامله بحر. إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في محكم كتابه بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لا أقسم بيوم القيامة ولا أقسم بالنفس اللوامة. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
There are 2 types of courts in which every human being will face. 2 types of courts in dunya and akhirah. One is based in akhirah only, and one is based between the dunya and akhirah. 2 types of courts. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this ayah I've just read he swears by, he does the qasam by the qiyamah. لا أقسم بيوم القيامة. Now, does Allah need to do the qasam for us to prove to us that there is qiyamah? He doesn't need. He doesn't care. لكم دينكم ولي دين, as the Holy Quran states. You have your own faith and I have my own faith. You want to believe or you don't? It's up to you. The qasam is here for the importance of an event that will take place on that great day. An intense day, immense day, a horrifying day, in which all the humanity from Adam alayhi salam to the last human being will remain alive just before the day of judgment. All will be resurrected and brought before the justice of Allah Azza wa Jalla. This is the first court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in which the humanity will be brought forward to answer for every deed, every amal they did. Why did you do this? Imagine, يوم كان مقداره 1000 سنة و50 ألف سنة, 50,000 years of the Qiyamah time. Now we don't know if it's the 50,000 years of this calculation of the dunya or the akhirah, because the time span strengthens in the akhirah. It will expand on the akhirah. So one day is compared there to Allah knows how many hundreds of days, of thousands of days, compared to one day in dunya. لا أقسم بيوم القيامة. Let's see, the Quran brings also other verses with regard to the importance of the Qiyamah. But the majority, if not all, striking words, especially those who speak Arabic and know the Arabic language. For example, in one of the ayat, فَإِذَا جَاءَتِ الطَّامَّةُ الْكُبْرَى, when the great disaster comes, Allah describes the Qiyamah, great disaster, الطَّامَّة الْكُبْرَى. Very strong words to describe the Qiyamah. Other ayat, إِذَا وَقَعَتِ الْوَاقِعَةِ, when the great event takes place, a great event. You know, these are Allah's words. It's not our words or a human being's words. When Allah says it's a great event, a striking event, then it is really something that we have to fear of. إِذَا السَّمَاءُ انْفَطَرَتْ, when the sky breaks apart, imagine, as a preparation for the Qiyamah. Subhanallah. Al-Qari'atu mal-Qari'ah, the striking hour. I'm sure if you bring the most disastrous and loud noise of bombs and noises, it won't compare to the Qari'ah and the striking sound of the Akhir, of the Qiyamah. A great moment, a horrifying moment in which, as the Quran describes, that a woman who's feeding her baby would leave the baby on the floor and she runs away for her life. This is how the Qiyamah is. And of course we have initially the first and the foremost, let's say a very brief and small judgment day in the qabr, the first night of qabr. They will ask us. The hisab, very minor hisab will be there in the qabr, as a mirror to the hisab of the qiyamah, of the akhir. لا أقسم بيوم القيامة. The hisab is very precise, دقيق. Everything is counted, every movement, every look, anything we do. There's a story of a man. Usually in the past days, a couple hundred years back, people loved Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam so much that they were ready to leave their hometown and homelands and migrate to the holy cities of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. And that's why many of our brothers in Iraq, in Kadhimin, in Karbala, in Najaf, they're originally from one of these countries. They used to migrate from Pakistan, India, Iran. We have a lot of our brothers who originally from Iran, but they are Iraqis now. Turkey as well, other Muslim countries. They migrate to live next to the Imam alayhi salam to get the blessing of living and being with the Imam, serving him, and also make living, trade, and so forth. So a man from India, he traveled, a Shia, a mu'min, a follower of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, a brother mu'min, he travels from India with a box of his jewelry and gold coins. There were no banks at that time. You have to carry your own wealth with you anywhere you go. And there's no insurance, there's nothing. So he came all the way to Iraq, to the city of Najaf. He came there and he resides in the holy city of Najaf next to Amir al-Mu'min alayhi salam, and he makes a will that if I die, bury me next to the Mawla alayhi salam, in Jannatul Baqiyah, in Wadi Salam. So the man, after a while, he had to go back to his hometown to see his relatives and come back. So he was trying to find somebody who would keep the amana, somebody who was honest, who was ala kulli hal, respected in the community, a mu'min, a pious person. They leave the amana with him and they go long trips, few months trips, and they come back and then they get back their amana. So he went and he saw a man, an old man, on his doorstep of his shop, a shopkeeper. Before he opens the shop and he does the usual business day, he would first admonish his people. So he does a very small, short talk and speech about fearing Allah, the Qiyamah, Hadith of Ahlul Bayt, and so forth. In the old days, they used to, for example, they open the shop, they first read the Quran loudly. So you pass by the shop, you hear the Quran recitation by the shops. It was a different life at that time. Things now changed. So he saw him that he is preaching people, and then he goes back to his shop and he does his normal, usual business. So he came to him and he said to him, okay, I wish to travel back to my home. I leave this box as amana with you. When I come back, I'll take it, inshallah. The old man, the shopkeeper, he takes the box, and after a while, he starts to think about what is inside the box. And of course, the shaitan comes, deceives him. Eventually, he keeps the box for himself. After a few weeks or months, the man comes back. This mu'min, pious, Za'ir of Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ali alayhi salam, he comes back to get his amana back. The man denies, I never saw you, I never took anything from you. Baba, I gave you a box. He said, this is the signs, the alama. He said, I never saw you, I never any box. He screams and shouts. People gather around the man and the shopkeeper. Of course, they hear the story from the box owner. They don't believe in him because they believe in this individual who is preaching them every day, who is giving advice. Sadly today, we have the situation that some people who, sadly, in the name of religion, in the name of Ahlul Bayt, in some cases, that they give advice, but they are within themselves, they are Satan, na'udhu billah. In the name of Islam, in the name of Ahlul Bayt, ala kulli hal. Sadly. And that's why our societies are corrupted now, destroyed. Go to the countries and cities that have the majority of Shia of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, and see the situation there. إذا فسد العالم فسد العالم. If the alim, if the scholar deviates, people will deviate. Because people follow And their role model is the alim. If that alim deviates from us. So, of course, people trusted this preacher, this shopkeeper who used to preach them, so they beat that man, the box owner, and he walks away from the people in the shop and he goes towards the haram of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam. He goes and complains, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, they don't know me, but you know me and you know my situation. So he goes back to his accommodation, apartment, and he sleeps. And he sees Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam in his dream. He says to him, go and stand and wait on the entrance gate of the Najaf. Seems to be there was an entrance gate in the old time to the cities. Wait in that entrance gate of Najaf, you will see an old man who's a woodcutter, and he's got wood fire on his shoulder. Go to him and talk to him. He will resolve your situation. So he goes the next morning, he sees an old man carrying wood fire. He approaches him and he tells him the story. He says, okay, come with me, and tomorrow morning we go together to the shop and I will sort the things out. Next day they go both together. They meet with the shopkeeper the next morning. As usual, the shopkeeper wants to start preaching people. The old man, the woodcutter, would say to him that, allow me today, I preach people. So, okay, that's fine, no worries. You preach, ahlan wa sahlan. So the woodcutter goes and he starts to preach people. But initially, he begins the story of himself. So he tells the audience, the people who are gathered, that once, this is my story. Once, I needed some money. So I went to the neighboring friends and neighbors who were Muslims to lend me some money, to borrow me some money, but they all refused. I went to a nearby Jewish neighbor. I don't want to say it loud. Sometimes it's embarrassing for us that sometimes you see the other sides, other faith, maybe more lenient to us than ourselves. Inshallah, nothing in this majlis, but I'm just saying this, and this is a reality. And I think this is one of the reasons that we are here, not in our own countries. Otherwise, why should we leave our own best locations on earth and come to these countries? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the mighty. Ala kulli hal. So he goes to him and he says to him that I need some money. The man, he gives him some money and he says, okay, I want it to be paid in installments, monthly payments. He accepts and they agree and they walk away. He starts to pay back this borrowed money to that individual. The final month he was to pay him back, he doesn't find him at home, and they tell him that he is ill. And he is now in the hospital of Baghdad. He's there. So he rides and he goes to Baghdad.